Hi, I'm Rob.
I'm Katie.
And we're
Livin' Lovin' Disney.
Come join us on our podcast where we talk about all things Disney.
Like our trips and cruises, our DVC resorts, tours of the park, after-hour parties, and our family's crazy Disney life.
We've got some older episodes for you to listen to and get to know us a little bit.
Keep on dreaming.
Hi, this is Rob.
And Katie.
Welcome into this episode of Livin' Lovin' Disney. Okay, tonight we got Jacob and Sophia with us. They took a trip to Universal, California to check out the new Mario world. Is that what you said?
Mario Land?
Super Nintendo World, yeah.
Super Nintendo World. Okay, so we wanted to have them on. So it's going to be more of a Universal show, but we thought it'd be interesting. So anyways, so you guys went down to California, and just tell us about what you did. You know, how many days were you there, and
the whole trip.
stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'll just say for starters, so we went with some family. They invited us to go and said, we just think we would have just a blast with you guys. So just come with us.
Just
Cool.
Yeah.
So it was, a dad, a mom, and then 4 kids, ages 10 to 17, which is just like super fun, right? For these new parks. I mean, so yeah, that was kind of the context of how we got invited to go.
Was that your
We went
first
in. That was my first time ever in Universal. I'd never been before.
I think I remember going once when I was really little, but I remember walking in, but that's it. So for me, it felt like my first time. But I think it was also the kids' first time as well.
Yeah,
It was
it was the kids' first time.
Okay.
Many first people in the group. So that was exciting.
And this was around. It was around Christmas time.
No.
When was this?
Yeah, this is February.
Okay, February. Okay.
Yeah, February 21st, 22nd, I think were the
Okay,
dates.
so it was around this time we went to Disney World.
Yeah, I think there's some overlap or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I
right.
think
Okay.
we FaceTime.
We might have
And you were
FaceTimed or
in-
something.
Yeah, I think we FaceTime.
Oh, okay.
But so as far as like weather goes, it was kind of, you never know what you're gonna get in February, in California. Obviously, it's not where we were in Salt Lake City.
Oh,
It's way better. It was blizzarding while we were there in California.
it's still
actually,
yeah.
it actually turns out that the day we left California, because we hiked the Hollywood sign and stuff with the family, the day we left, we saw headlines: snow on the Hollywood sign, and it actually snowed in Burbank. So
That's crazy.
So yeah, it was okay weather while we were there. It wasn't great. It was like you had to bring a light jacket because in the evenings it got
chilly.
Yeah, it got chilly, but
it was that weird weather though, where at the start of the day you're kind of warm, you don't want your sweater, so you don't want to bring a lot of layers, and then by the end you're freezing. And then especially if you go on any water rides or anything with water too.
Yeah,
You gotta do those early.
Yeah, we'll the rides, but you can get wet too, and so
Oh boy.
there's
So
water
you guys you just went to Universal for one day.
So we did 2 days.
Okay.
Yeah, so what we decided was we were in California like 4 full days. I think one day was just hang out, or we hiked the Hollywood sign and had some food, whatever. And then one day was a Sunday, and we just kind of did family time. Actually went and visited mom and grandma and grandpa and stuff. And then just for some context as well, Kathleen, but so Julie is my mom's cousin, so that's like the relation. So she's like, I haven't seen my cousin in so long. So we did that, and then it was
cool.
Then we had a beach day too. You're right. So we had like 3 days not at Universal.
Which beach did you guys go to?
We went to freak. I was actually gonna look it up because
it was connected to the resort, the Marriott. It was like a Marriott resort, remember?
Yeah, give me 1 second. It was really, really nice. And there was another family that they knew that were there, and so they said, come join us at the beach. So we went and joined them where they were at. I actually do want to look it up because it was really pretty, and it was Crystal Cove. That name just came to my mind. That might not mean anything to you, but Crystal Cove is what it's called. And
it was
beautiful. It was actually the nicest day that we were there.
Yeah.
I mean, they've built a lot of stuff up down there. I mean, I used to go to Huntington Beach a lot. And then I know they built up down there. There was nothing down there when I was growing up except for a big power plant or something. and you just park your car along the beach and go in, didn't cost you nothing. But now they've built up all these hotels and shopping
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
districts and stuff. It's just crazy now. So
Yeah, there was we after the beach we went to this like nice shopping center and there was like all these fancy cars. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
definitely like a hot spot. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's called Crystal Cove. I'm trying to see kind of where exactly it is in regards to like okay, so Newport, it's south,
okay.
it's just south of Newport.
Okay.
And it's kind of it's in between Laguna Beach and Newport, but closer to Newport. So
Okay.
that's falls. But yeah, and that was the nicest day that we were in California. It was like maybe 70 and nice.
Was there a
clear-
lot of people down at the beach?
Yeah, there was a good amount. I
Yeah,
feel like
it
there
was
a good
really
amount of people.
cold.
The
kinda did-
water,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like Oregon Beach.
It felt like it did feel like
I've had,
an Oregon Beach.
I would say maybe not as cold because Oregon Beach is
I don't know, man.
cold.
You had to be in that water for like 10 minutes before it felt
It did feel like the polar.
like it was-
What is it? The polar
polar plunge or
punch.
something.
But
It was
yeah.
beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, but our Universal Day, so as we were preparing to go, they kind of said, hey, okay, you guys plan the trip. You guys learn everything about Universal, get to know the rides, how to best optimize your time there, look at the express passes if it's worth it or not.
Okay.
So we dove into that. And what we determined was, I mean, the express passes, I wish I had the numbers, but they're like astronomically more, right?
Yeah,
It's
like
not
$100 a day or something like that more.
it's
per
not
person.
the Genie Plus pass where it's 25
Mhm.
bucks and all of a sudden you have
Yeah.
the Genie Plus, right? It's like triple the price. It was like $97, I think, for a normal pass, and then it was like $270 for an express
I know.
pass.
Yeah, it was like that in Florida too.
It's like 100 and some odd
That was
dollars more.
ridiculous. We're like, and we asked the guy there too. He goes, I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah, I
In
called a
Florida,
guy.
so
I called a guy and I had a conversation with somebody at Universal, and he was like, it's really hard to know. He's like, February
Yeah.
is more the slow time of
Okay.
year, but Super Nintendo World had just opened like 5 days before we got there.
that's right.
So we were like, yikes, it might be really crowded. The thing was, though, the Fast Pass or the Express Pass didn't apply. It didn't work in Super Nintendo World anyway.
Oh, they wouldn't let you do it for that because it's brand
Yeah,
new.
Was that
Okay.
your own pass or was there not even? I
You had
think
to
there was
you
an
had to
express
reserve.
pass.
You
Yeah.
just had to reserve to get into Super Nintendo World. You had to just
Okay.
reserve a spot, but there was no Express Pass for the rides. And I mean, lad, let's just jump right in, I guess, to Super Nintendo World, but or maybe we just keep on talking about the Express Pass. But
I mean, I know
We decided-
Jacob's brother is Kurt, who kind of produces the show, does the workhorse on it. And he was super jealous when he found out Jacob and Sophia were going to see Super Nintendo World.
I was jelly.
I mean,
So-
Nintendo is what we grew up on.
And
Oh
you know?
yeah.
I didn't
Absolutely.
grow up with. I
Okay.
did not grow up with it, so then I felt bad. I'm like, oh, I feel like somebody would appreciate that. I loved the experience, but I feel like
Oh
you
sure.
were like, this is making me a little bit emotional because it was so cool.
Well, it's one of those things that is like it's huge, but no one's really made it a park or made it accessible in that way. It's just a video game, you know? I mean,
Right.
movies, they just barely came out with the Super Mario Brothers movie.
With
I don't know if you
Halo.
guys have seen that, but
No.
they came out like in theaters and stuff. But yeah, there's one other Super Nintendo World, and I believe it's in Japan, and that's it.
Oh, really?
That's
I
it in the
didn't
whole world. So yeah, this was a really big deal for them to open this up. And so I think that is what made it especially crowded. And when we got to Super Nintendo World on the second day, I mean, it was like you're in the streets of in Times Square during Christmas. Like it was it was shoulder to shoulder.
Yes. So
You didn't know
cool.
where lines began,
Oh really?
ended. It was just utter madness. Like there's one ride in particular that's Mario Kart, Bowser's Revenge. You want to talk about how they did that one?
No, you can because I
Okay.
don't remember all the details.
Okay.
Names of
You
Just
go in-
interject, Sophia, when you want.
Yeah. Well, first of all, it's really cool I know, because I'll just blah, blah, blah. But it's really cool when you go into the world, you actually go, the entrance is a big green pipe, like in
Oh,
the video.
Okay,
you know,
like the pipes. Okay.
you go to the pipe. So
That's
you go
awesome.
in and then there's all these colors kind of rushing past you, and it might even do the sound
Oh,
effect, I
see,
think.
you remember that much.
That's
But you
kinda
walk
cool.
in and you're in this animated world.
So is
they-
there
it's
screens all around you in it or something? How do they do that?
I think there were some
colors, just
there were
LED
some
lights.
color screens, or maybe there were lights or something like that that just went when you're going
Okay.
in.
Remember that part?
But when you get through, it's really a cool, like you come out of the tunnel, out of the pipe, and you're just like, whoa. And they just designed it to look so similar to the game. You really enter like this cartoony animated world.
I'll say this. This is what I remember, and I don't know all the characters, but who's the one who's
Bowser.
Bowser. One of my favorite parts was walking through Bowser's area.
His castle.
Yeah, his castle. And you can just, what do they have? Like a little fireplace oven thing. I'm trying to remember all. But I just remember feeling like, oh, I'm in the game or I'm in the movie. Like he's bad. He's preparing to steal Peach.
For Nintendo lovers, you'll notice so many little things, so many nods, so many little Easter eggs where you're like, oh my gosh, like, that's from that game and whatnot.
Wait,
so they did a really good job with it. And they have these they call them power-up bands, which are interactive bands that you can run around Super Nintendo World and do things around the world. It's actually a game. We ended up not doing it. It's like $40 per band, I think.
Yes.
But how it works is there's all these tasks throughout the world, and there's some storyline associated with it. Somebody is the superstar, and you're trying to collect coins so you can fight them or something. So you have all these kids running around that are like punching, blocks with like question marks, and it's going ba-ding, ba-ding, like they're collecting coins,
Okay.
On the app, you can kind of follow like your progress and see what tasks you have to do. So yeah, it was really cool. There was a lot to do in there.
So
that's Universal's cross from like Star Wars Land, where Star Wars interactive stuff going on all the way through it. If you have the band,
right, there's a game.
There's
a thing, but
go search.
Yeah. Okay.
So you're saying to get into this land, you're going through you go through the tube to get into Super Nintendo world.
Yeah.
Right. You walk through it.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
like when Mario pops through the pipe.
Gotcha.
That one.
That's pretty awesome. Okay.
You feel like you're traveling in a green pipe, like in the video game, and then you pop out in this world.
You're in there. Okay, that's awesome.
And it was so when you're first walking in.
Okay, you're not talking about the ride.
Not the ride.
That part. Yes.
Not the ride. Just walking into the land, to the Super Nintendo world.
Okay, yes, I know you're talking about it.
So
again, I don't know that world as well.
Me either. I
know the Harry Potter world well, but not the
But the game that was, or the ride, I should say, that was really, really popular was Mario Kart Bowser's Revenge, I believe it was called. But so what they did, it was like, this was a big thing. It was like state of the art. You got to go to see this. This is like incredible, blah, blah, blah. Because it was VR. So you go through these little plastic hats. They're actually little red visors that have them like Mario. So you put this little Mario cap on.
Okay.
And you continue to go through the queue, and then eventually you get to this part where they have they look like sunglasses. They don't feel like quite like goggles or anything, like if you've done a VR set. I know you have that. Where you did the VR.
That was real
it wasn't like that. It was just like a visor. It was just like a visor, and it just snapped onto your little hat thing.
Okay.
And then you got into this cart, and it was 4 people per cart, and you went along. It was really slow, but it just kind of moved through, kind of like Buzz Lightyear, the Buzz Lightyear.
Just
game.
moves along.
But you look through the VR and you're in Mario Kart, so there's people running, racing around you, and you're throwing shells. You're clicking this button or something to throw shells and earn points. And it was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I thought it was really awesome.
Yeah.
We ended up waiting, I think, like it was an hour 45 or something. We got into the park first thing. We checked it throughout the rest of the day for 4.5 hours. Like,
are you kidding me? Holy
crap. You look up there and it's like
half your day.
75 minutes. You're like, holy cow. So we were really lucky to get, I think maybe it was 2 hours. It wasn't more than 2 hours.
It felt long, but also I have to preface that I was really sick during this time. I was really excited to be there, but I was awfully sick. So maybe that's why I don't remember a lot of things.
I felt so bad.
But yeah, for me, I thought it was like a 3-hour wait, but no, I guess it wasn't.
I don't think it was more, maybe max like 2.5, but even then I think it was 2 or less than 2.
Really? Oh, that's good.
Well, sometimes sometimes it could seem like a lot
Oh,
longer.
It did. Yeah, it did.
Some lines,
It's only cute.
But it
The
was
tight
entertaining.
switchbacks are horrid.
Yeah.
So how was the queue to this ride? Did they do anything special for it as far
It
as
was amazing. You were going through all these different levels in Mario World, you know, like
okay.
you started out like going through like I think it was like kind of Yoshi's Land, and then you kind of went through. I mean, there was all these nods to Nintendo, and then eventually you're in Bowser's Castle,
That's the
and
part
that's kind of
not
that.
very
Yeah,
like-
and that's I think that's where you end. But the queue was entertaining. I think there was a lot to like look at while you were going through the queue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Well, that helps.
yeah,
Definitely
it
while
did
you
help.
wait.
Yeah, but so that ride was really cool. We all agreed. I think we were like, that was really cool. It's worth it to wait like 2 or 3 hours to do it once. Don't think I would wait 2 or 3 hours to do it again though.
Yeah.
I think it's
no.
one of those rides where I go, I'd wait
One
like
and done.
maybe an hour and a half for that one, but more than that, it just wasn't worth
Right.
it for us.
But it's one of those like
was
you
cool,
have
though.
to do.
It was a
like,
cool experience. Yeah, it's a different type of ride, being more like interactive and doing more of the VR stuff. Which actually that was pretty common.
Was kind of like that. Yeah, very interactive. Even the smaller kid rides. I'm trying to think because we did what was it? The Kung Fu.
That was the first thing we did was Kung Fu Panda. It was a
Oh.
show just like the
Oh,
theater
really?
at Disney, where you do Honey, I Shrunk the Audience or
Okay.
Yeah.
stuff. So it's Kung Fu Panda, and you sit in these seats and you watch this show that's happening in front of you, and you don't put on any
No,
3D
because
goggles or
it's
anything like
pretty
that.
light. It's more like wind and like brushes your hair back or a little mist.
You're
of
on
like-
this-
Do the seats move at all?
Yeah, the seats.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
they
seats
do.
move. You get sprayed with
Okay.
water. And what's really cool about it, and it's kind of a spoiler, but so you're watching the screen, in front of you, and then some bad guy gets this super powerful weapon, and he like hits it, and the screen breaks apart, and then you realize that the screen actually is like 180 degrees.
Yeah.
But it was disguised the whole time. It's disguised as just looks like the walls.
Mhm.
So you think the screen's
Oh,
only
really?
and then he does something and it's like boom, 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 and then it's like actually all around you, and you think these were the walls, but it's actually part of the screen, and then rocks and stuff are flying around you. So that I think that's, and like I said, that's kind of a spoiler, but that was really
That was
cool.
a really fun one. And then we did what is it? The cats and dogs one that the kids
Secret Life of Pets.
Yeah, we never watched that movie, but we did that right, and that one was also interactive.
Did you do Simpsons?
So
They
It was-
don't have a
Simpsons.
Simpsons there, do they?
they have the Simpsons ride. It was broken the whole time we were there.
Oh,
It was
that's
like
a
the
bummer.
last
Lucky
few hours.
boy.
It's a good ride, but it can get you
is.
motion sickness, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I struggled.
I
with that.
liked the ride. It was great, but I was about ready to ralph.
Long.
Yeah, I'm like,
My
yeah,
God.
they could have cut that off a little sooner. I'm about ready to ralph.
Everybody, we were all waiting in line for it. The last few hours we were at the park on our last day, it opened finally. And we were waiting in line for a little bit, and we said, let's go do something else. And we ended up doing something else. But anyway, kind of backtracking to Express Passes really quick. So we decided to do 1 day Express Pass, 1 day not. And the reason being, like, the first day we'll use our Express Passes, ride everything. And then the
Right.
second day when we don't have our Express Passes, we know what we like and we know what we
Yeah.
want to wait for and what we don't want to wait for,
Right.
Right?
Makes sense.
So that was a good way to do it. I mean, it was really expensive, but Steve, he was like, if we're already paying, you're paying $10,000 for a trip, he's like, you're gonna be waiting in line all day. He's like, oh, let's just do it at least 1 day.
I will say
I
this:
was glad.
if you're only there for a couple of days, I think it is worth it because you want to maximize the time you have.
Right.
But if you're
Sure.
there maybe for a week and you have time to spare and you don't mind waiting in line, like you have the time to wait, I think that's fine. But yeah, I think for our circumstance, we probably needed.
We were all really glad we got it. At the end of the day, that was nice. And
And we didn't
like
have
Disney,
we didn't have it for the next day, but Steve is really good friends, or he knows the Dracula, one of the characters there, and
Right.
he was so nice and gave us many like express passes. So if you work there, you can kind of give your friends and family.
he just prints out these one-time use passes,
Yeah.
that are good for like up to 6 people.
So we essentially got like express passes.
just gave us a
for,
stack of
yeah, the second day,
Oh gosh.
which is
So-
so
I'm just going to mention that Steve, if anybody knows who the piano guys are, is one of the piano guys.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
the chap
Group, the piano guys.
Stevie Sharp Nelson. Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
you know who the piano guys are, he's one of them. So just
And
thought I'd
yeah,
mention
even
it.
some people
He-
at
they got
Universal
Dracula.
Studios
Oh,
ran
yeah.
into him. They're like, we love your music.
Yeah.
Right? It was really cool.
He got stopped a few times, but this Dracula guy was actually a fan that he met at Steve did a show like 3 days before we went there. He did a show in Southern California, or maybe a couple.
Okay.
And he met this guy, and he's like, he's in the meet and greet after the show or whatever, and they get talking, and he finds out he's going to be in Universal. He goes, "Let's meet up."
Yeah.
And this guy, he had worked at, his name's Darren, I remember.
Mhm.
He had
Really
worked at
nice.
Universal for like 30 years, and he had done a ton of different things. Yeah, he had done a ton of different things there. And
he created
had a big,
oh, sorry, really quick.
Oh, yeah.
He just created the program, the character program for actors, like what it is today.
he had a really big influence on
yeah,
that
a
part.
big influence on that. So I think that was really cool.
But anyway, so that's he got to know him, and then he was the nicest guy.
Yeah.
And we hung out with him a little bit out of character, and then we'd run into him in character a few times, and of
So
course he
funny.
just stays in character. Yeah, I mean, he's just like, looking at Sophia and grabbing her hand and like, "I'm going to drink your blood tonight. Don't worry about that," That's super funny.
Get away from me, you weirdo.
So yeah, no, but that was really cool because we had a bunch of express passes even when we didn't. So we were a little spoiled in that regard.
Yeah.
But
That's all right. Hey, use the connections, man.
yeah, seriously.
I would say
That's
we
awesome.
did all of the rides there except
Mhm.
for the Simpson ride,
Mhm.
didn't we?
I think we did every
Maybe
single
there
one.
were some kid ones.
I don't think so. I think we hit every
No, I
ride.
want to say that we did every ride.
That's the thing about Universal. It's not Six Flags, There's not a crazy ton of rides. There's a lot of other things that you can do as well.
Or even Disney. I mean, you can go to
Yeah.
Disney, not get all the rides in a day, but you can with
I
Universal.
feel like 2 days was perfect.
Yeah.
I feel like on a third,
So
I'm a little bored, to be
We've
honest.
been there. I don't think we've ridden every
Okay.
ride yet
where?
at Universal.
Yeah, but the one in
We gotta bounce
California is a little
around.
smaller, I
Yeah.
think, than the Florida one.
I think
But
so.
so in the Mario world, so you went on how many rides do they actually have? Like 3 rides in there or what?
Oh, I thought it was just one.
I think there's that one. There's like a gift shop. There's a cafe, Toadstool Cafe. And then there was just interactive games. I don't think there was an
Okay.
actual other ride.
Yeah, I think that was the main
Um,
one.
Yeah, maybe we Google that.
Okay. Well, that could be. I mean, a lot of these new lands or whatever
They
that
have a ride or two.
they have maybe 2 rides
Mhm.
in them, and then that's
Yeah.
it. You
Yeah,
know.
the only ride at Super Nintendo World is Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge.
Bowser's
Yeah,
Challenge.
that was the only one.
So that's the only ride there. But man, I got some pictures that you just wouldn't believe. I mean, it's just sardines. It was just so
It was
That's
crazy.
crazy. That's crazy.
Well, that's a pretty, like you said. I mean, you guys grew up with Mario. I mean, it's been around for years, and there's tons of fans. So
Yeah.
that
and
makes
it's
sense.
like I said, it's the only one in it's one other Super Nintendo world. It's in Japan. That's the only one in the entire world. So there's 2 of
Right.
them.
Yeah.
So obviously it's going to attract a big crowd.
Mhm.
So
Okay, so let's switch over to let's go. You guys went to the Harry Potter area.
Yes, we did.
Obviously, Sophia, you're the big Harry Potter fan.
In Florida, it's
Florida.
Diagon Alley, right? I think that's
Yeah. Well, they
Yeah.
got 2 areas in
okay.
Florida. They have Diagon Alley, and then they have Hogsmeade.
Yeah,
Okay.
you have both.
Okay.
Oh,
so they're both.
really? I
So
wonder
this
if
one is just Hogsmeade.
Hogsmeade is probably identical to the one in Florida or very similar. But that was my favorite part of the whole experience because I am such a Harry Potter nerd. I introduced Harry Potter to Jacob over here.
Mhm.
And it was just really nostalgic for me. And I think when Jacob was like, "Oh, I'm getting emotional at for what was it? Mario,
Yeah.
Super
Uh-huh.
Mario Brothers." That was me. What is it called?
Super
You know that
Nintendo.
other place we went to?
Nintendo World. That was me for Harry Potter. It was just so cool because you feel like you walk in and bam, like you're in the movie. Okay, we
Uh-huh.
have very little time. We loved it so much. We bought 5 butter beers in 2 days.
You guys got all sauce that.
I know.
So, well, you can buy.
And
you
there
can
are-
buy.
3 rides? I think there are 2 rides. Oh, I can't
3
remember.
rides.
3
So
rides.
which rides? I can't. Which one's which?
What?
So yours is the one that had the snow on the rooftops.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
Hogsmeade
Yeah, that's
has
Hogsmeade. Yeah.
Hogsmeade, yeah.
3 broomsticks. It's replicating the little village that's right next to Hogsmeade
Right.
in the books.
Mhm.
But yeah, so you have some restaurants, but
They even have a bar there.
they
for-
threw
Yeah.
in some stuff that's not supposed to be there, obviously. Like there's Ollivander's Wand Shop when really that's in Diagon Alley. But they
Right.
just put it in Hogsmeade
You
because
have to though for the experience for
Yeah.
the kids.
Right.
And they
Yeah.
had an interactive wand, so you could get
Yep.
a specialized wand and
which a few of the kids got.
Yeah, a few of the
Yeah.
kids. Oh yeah, kids got it, and you
Mhm.
can like open the gates or turn a teapot around. I think it was a teapot.
You can
It
make
does
like
it in both worlds. In ours too.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
they
pretty
do
cute.
that in Diagon Alley. They have the all interactive wand stuff all through
All
there.
over the place.
I
So-
can't wait to go there one
It's
Yeah,
day.
very immersive. The dragon will blow your mind.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, I've heard that the one in California is pretty cool too, because
Yeah,
it sounds like a lot like the other area in Florida. But yeah,
Excuse you.
excuse me, Diagon Alley is pretty cool. So something to
I
look
was
forward to
shocked-
when you go to Florida.
Oh yeah, especially if you're a Harry Potter lover. I was shocked with how much they can fit in because it seems like a small area at first, but there's so much to do within
It's
the little
packed,
space.
yep.
So they have the Hogwarts, they have the castle there, right?
Mhm. So
Which I
which
think
rides
is
did you do
significantly smaller.
in
So
there?
what rides did they have? They have 3 rides, you said. What do they have there?
So the first ride that we went on there was called Flight of the Hippogriff,
Okay.
which is from the 3rd book.
Mhm.
And so that's just like it's a roller coaster.
Okay.
And you're
Sure.
walking through, you go by Hagrid's hut and stuff, and there's all, little sounds and things happening. So it really makes you feel like you're out kind of in the Forbidden Forest.
Mhm.
And you're in like it looks like a weaved basket
Yeah.
kind of,
All right.
and there's a hippogriff kind of head in the front, and it's just a little roller coaster. It just has a lap bar. You don't go upside down, anything like that. But it probably goes like 30 miles an hour, and it takes some corners pretty
To
fast.
the right of the castle.
It's fun.
Did you guys fit in it good, or was it more for little kids?
No,
Did
no,
you-
was
it for
yeah,
a
we
full-on
did
adults?
fine. Yeah, no, it
Okay.
was totally for like all ages.
Yeah.
Okay, because they have
yes,
something similar to that there too. But
It
okay.
was it probably lasted 15
I wanted to
seconds.
say 15 seconds.
It was
Yeah.
it's really
We were
really
like,
quick.
we wish it was just a little bit longer.
Yep.
All right.
It was almost like it went around maybe once.
I think it just did one time. And
You're
then,
like,
yeah,
"Hey, give us more."
really
Yeah,
quick.
I think it goes around twice in Disney World. You go around once, and then it goes around the second time, and then it stops, and it still seems really fast.
Yeah.
All right.
For the line you wait in, you're like, that's it? Okay.
Yeah, so that was a fun ride though. We rode that a few times. We probably rode it once or twice each day that we were there. And then kind of the really popular ride at Hogsmeade in California is Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. And this is where you actually go into the castle. You can't bring anything with you, so you have to get a little locker, which they're free, but it's still just annoying to have to the
Yes,
little
it
locker.
is.
Yeah.
Have your backpack in there and stuff. But that one is really interesting because you get on it almost like Soarin',
Yes.
where you
That's a
get
good
the
comparison.
the shoulder come over and you're
Okay.
in it's like 4 people can fit in one cart thing.
Right.
And then when you're going through, you're really just moving. I mean, it moves up, down, left, right, kind of like on a gyro type thing like this.
Right.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of movement, and you're just actually moving from kind of a dome screen to the other dome screens. So when you're
Okay.
on the screen, it's just this big screen that's like a circle. And so when you look around, you're like in it, right? And you're
Right.
flying around on a broomstick. And so you're in the screen, and then you're like, so it's more of a simulation than an actual like roller coaster,
Yeah. That one made me a little bit nauseous.
That one made us both
I
nauseous.
was like, oh, I think we did it 2 times
yeah,
each day.
the kids
Yeah.
did it
Which
without
one's
us.
the one that makes you sick?
That's the one.
It's the same one where it rocks the chair upside down, and at one
Yeah, yeah.
point there's like spiders come down from the ceiling over the
Yes.
top of you. That's the one we can't do that one.
I did
If
that
they flip
one.
me upside down, I'm toast.
I did that one, and
Done.
then we went on a roller coaster right after that. And I'm like,
Oh
Ralph.
my goodness. Yeah.
I couldn't. Jacob, I had to go. I mean,
have to do
Leah's like that. There it is, the Velocicoaster. I'm like,
Gotta do it, man.
it was a brand new roller coaster for Jurassic World, And I'm like, I don't
You
feel like
have
it,
to.
man.
Yeah.
But I couldn't chicken out, man. I had to
No.
go.
You gotta, yeah, you gotta
I had to
experience
sit
it.
down for an hour after that ride. I'm like, I'm gonna rap before I get off this ride. I barely made it down the stairs. I found a chair and I'm like, because the Harry Potter ride got me all feeling woozy, like you were saying.
Yes.
And I'd ridden that before and I thought, well, maybe I'll be all right this time. It still got me. Did it get you, Jacob? At all?
Yeah,
The Harry
see,
Potter?
I take Dramamine every like 4 hours. Like I'm really
Okay.
Gosh,
like
you only have to take that once a day.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
not the one that I have. It says you can take
Oh.
one tablet every 4 hours. So I just do it I just do it on
But
the
you were
clock.
smart in that.
We did that at
'cause,
Disneyland too.
I thought I was okay,
Yeah.
but after that ride. I said, okay, Jacob, give me some of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm with you on that, man.
I've never grown up at an amusement park, but when you're just woozy like that, it just makes you kind of miserable, and you're like,
Oh
I'm
yeah.
just not enjoying
Yeah,
myself.
you're kind of
much.
in a daze.
That one just made my head not feel quite right. I wasn't sick, but I just was like, oh,
And then after that roller coaster, we went on the Hulk. I'm like,
oh
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
The adrenaline rush off of
you
Jurassic
can't.
Park.
I
one
go.
night got
These are
me on
great roller
screen.
coasters that cannot go on. You know, I'm kind of looking forward to it all day.
We both with
Yeah.
that ride. We're both like, oh, we're live. Okay. Because it
Well, I
was
tell
go,
ya,
go, go.
After that, oh my gosh,
It was
So
great.
okay, so they had that. And then what they had? So the roller coaster, then the Harry Potter Forbidden Journey,
Mhm.
and then what was the other one they had?
Yeah, you said there's a third one, but
Maybe
I
they only had
remember
the two. I think you're right. Maybe they only had two.
I mean, they had that little experience before you go into Ollivanders where you meet with one of the workers and then he
Yeah,
picks
wand
somebody
pairing.
out of the wand pairing. But that was more like an experience. I looked it
Yeah.
up too.
So how was it when you guys were going through the castle to get on Forbidden Journey? Did they have all the interactive, like all the paintings that moved and stuff?
Yeah.
And how was
Yes,
that all? And
where they,
that's
like,
pretty
move
cool.
and they-
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, they move and they talk to you.
Isn't that awesome?
It
Yeah.
was
But it's
so
really
cool.
crazy because they did some sort of finish on those screens or something where it really makes it look like an old like oil painting.
Yes.
It does,
know.
huh?
Yeah,
I
it's
know,
pretty.
it's
It's
pretty
a trip,
immersive.
man. They did a
Cool.
really good job.
They did.
Universal
And that
did a
was the
great
thing.
job with
One
that.
time we used the express pass. I think only because you have one a day, right? When you have your
Yeah,
express pass.
same as Genie Plus. Like you
Yeah.
have one, you can reserve a ride, and that's actually something we didn't catch.
Yeah, we
was
didn't know
thought
that
you just had
first.
unlimited but it's you get to use it one time per ride. That's why we were so surprised. It's like it's 3 times the price, and you just get to use it once per ride per day.
Right. So you kind of
It
have
is
to be
special.
Okay.
if a line is really short, then you're like, we'll not use our pass yet. We'll go in and do it the short way or like wait the normal way and then use
Right.
our passes
If
when
it's
it's
longer later.
But I will say this about the castle, as far as like Harry Potter and stuff. The first time we did it, I don't think we used our express passes, so it was so fun to look around. Like I feel like that you have to do it once. Okay, let there be light. Now we have light. You have to do it once without the express pass because I feel like that's part of the experience. Because when we did the express pass, we missed a
You
lot of
missed a lot of
Dude,
cue.
a lot of the paintings, the interactive kind of
Yeah.
build.
Oh, that's a good point, Sophia. You're right.
Yeah,
It's really fun.
it is. It is. If you take a fast pass, you do miss a lot of queue. It's a different experience.
Yeah, and you got on the Harry Potter stuff. You need to see the queue. That's the cool thing about all that Harry Potter stuff. Because they did such a good job with it. That
Right.
if you miss that, you're missing half the
Experience.
stuff. You know.
Yeah.
Yes, and they only have those 2 rides. All the rides they have because they have more rides in Disney World.
Well, they have Escape from Gringotts,
Yeah,
which is a roller coaster, which is a great ride.
great.
is
roller
that with a
coaster.
dragon or something?
I think that's what
Um,
Oh, they escaped
Yes.
from Gringotts.
There's
there.
a
What
dragon.
are the what?
It's
What are
part
those?
coaster part VR.
It's a roller coaster, but they have
Oh.
the what are the black ghostly kind of characters in Harry Potter?
Mentors.
The what?
The mentors.
The
Yeah, there's
Mentors.
Dementors in that ride that they're fighting. So, and you go down into the you know
Bank vault.
the bank vault and all that stuff, and
No way. How
yeah,
fun.
that's another one to look forward to. I mean, you guys got to go to Florida
I know we
and
have
go with
to
us to, or
guys.
if we don't go with you, whatever. It's they got a little more there, and you'd love it. I mean, Diagon Alley is awesome.
The motorcycle ride.
And then they have Hagrid's what is it called? Motorcycle Journey or something like that.
Something like that. I don't remember the actual name.
It's
of it.
awesome, dude.
Would
That
you
ride is
a
awesome.
whole day there? Like, could you spend a whole day there?
Yeah,
Or
We spend a whole day in Universal one day and do everything, but we pick and choose. We've done a lot of the little stuff, and now we're like, okay, how much time do we want to invest in what do we love? So now we just go and hit what we love in the park.
We talked about the Harry Potter. Was there anything else about Harry Potter that you thought was cool that you noticed like in the area?
yes, we have to let you know, maybe this is a given, but this was something that we didn't know. Yeah, Butterbeer Secrets, we can call it. So, there's like the normal butterbeer where it's kind of the cold drink. We weren't aware that they also have the option of like a slushy butterbeer and a hot version of butterbeer. Also a alcoholic version for those who drink and who are over 21. But we weren't aware of all the options. So Jacob and I tried the hot version.
We tried every single one.
Except for the alcoholic version.
Oh,
It's terrible.
The rides after that one. Amazing.
Right.
Yeah, I think we had like 3 normal, just like, that butterscotch.
Something
topping,
about
the
it.
topping that they put on like the butter. Holy, that first sip is just euphoric.
It's magic. Yeah, it is.
And then we had one hot one, which is it's a butterscotch like hot chocolate.
And when it's cold at nighttime, that one we got pretty cold. The slushy one
that was good.
It was good. I think I would rank it normal, hot, then slushy. But yeah, that's just a fun little tip. We didn't know about that. But
So is that good? That's your, like, if you were to get it, you'd rather have the cold one if you had to choose out of the 3? Is that what you're saying?
I get like the normal like cold drink.
Right.
Yeah, I think I would too.
And they're expensive. I think they're like $7 or $8 for one. We shared like probably 4 or 5 of them. But,
yeah.
But where else are you gonna get that? So you gotta, if you're a Harry Potter person, you gotta try it, right?
Yeah.
The only other thing in Harry Potter Land that I would say, and it's just kind of something small, but well, for one, obviously they have the candy shop. I mean, they have little shops and they have a restaurant, 3 broomsticks and stuff. So
which we heard was the best restaurant out of the entire park. Or like I watched some YouTube. I love watching YouTube videos or listening to podcasts about before you make a trip. And that was the recommended one. We didn't get to try it because it was really long. And we'll talk more about food, but they did have a restaurant in there with a very long line.
But they had a little show. They had a little show that if you timed right, you could go see the show. We only saw one of them, but I think there was like something with frogs and like choir with these frogs that sang, which is from the movies. And then they had from the 4th book when it's the Triwizard Tournament, and you have the students from the other schools.
Yeah.
Okay.
Show that was pretty similar to the movies. But we just walked by one day and they were doing the show. So you'd have to use the app to time it out or something. But yeah, they do have little shows going on too. And like Sophia said, you can do the wand pairing where you actually like go to an employee and they act like they're pairing you with a wand. Or there's a little show that happens at certain times that you go into a separate room and they do like an official wand pairing, kind of like how Harry Potter did in the first movie where the wind blow, he'll say, try this wand. And the person, he'll select one person, they'll try the one, he goes, they say, wave it at that plant, and they'll wave it at the plant, and the plant dies, right? It's like, oh, not that one, and then and it does that a few times, it breaks things or whatever, and then finally it chooses one that, that works. But so there's a little show with that too. So if you time those out, there's a few other things.
If you go to that show, you said it, only one person is picked. So if you aren't picked, you can still go through and do the pairing. And what's neat is the person will ask you like questions. What do you like to do? Or we just watched two of the kids get it done, and it was really fun to see it personalized for them. And then you can get your name engraved on it, which is
really?
Yeah. So I think if you're gonna buy a wand, I think it's worth it to have that experience, go up to one of the workers and do that.
Right. I mean, you're paying for it, so you might as well get the whole experience.
You can get character wands. You can get Ron's wand. You can get Harry's wand.
Okay.
But they pair you with are special,
for you.
They're unique ones that aren't a character wand. So it's like, oh, this is mine.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you can interact with it too, right?
Was there a lot of people wearing their little Harry Potter outfits around?
Oh yeah,
I would say so. It was funny. I forgot who we talked to. Maybe was it one of the workers? I just remember one of them saying it's usually packed, but because Super Nintendo World was so busy, the lines were fairly short. So I would say if you go now, you probably won't have to worry about long lines in that area, because the focus is on Super Nintendo World.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So that's pretty much Harry Potter. That's Hogsmeade. They have the train, they have the Hogwarts Express there. I mean,
They had the classic like
It's everything.
sweater.
What does
sweater.
the train do? I mean,
You
does
ride
it
the train?
does
I
it
think
go
it's-
around or is it just sitting there?
it just sits there, and I think
You take
smoke
pictures.
comes up from it,
Mhm.
but it doesn't move or anything like that.
Yeah.
It moves in Disney World. You get to ride it. I'm just kidding.
Something to look forward to.
It does ride. You go from one side to the other.
Right,
You ride the train.
you can ride it from King's Crossing over to
Yep.
Hogsmeade.
And the windows have like
I got video. I
pictures of
should send it
different
to you.
windows, so it's like you're really on the train.
Yeah, and the characters are in the hallway of the train.
That's pretty cool.
You got Harry Potter and Hermione and what's the other guy's name?
Oh, you're as good at
The redhead guy, Ron.
Right.
They're out in the hallway, going down the train, talking
No
and stuff.
way.
And then the window you see the countryside. It's pretty cool how they do it. So yeah,
Wow.
something to look forward to,
You run through the wall and you disappear.
Yeah, they do
There's a
the
spot
wall.
that has special mirrors. So
Yeah.
you can take a picture and you disappear into the wall.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love that.
You go into the train station. So it's pretty cool. It's
I
pretty
will say
pretty
this.
neat how they did that.
Just to
So
tie it back with Harry Potter and Universal Studios, we didn't get to go it the last time we went to London, but when I went on my study abroad, I went to the Universal Studios in London specifically for Harry Potter. And
okay.
they had the train, and it was funny because they had some of the things, but compared to in the US, you can go on the train, you can interact with it. A lot of it was more of a set,
Okay.
even like the candy shop, because that's how they made it for the movie. It was
Right.
it wasn't for people to interact with and go in and
Right.
out. But there were some parts where, in the first movie with all the letters that are coming from everywhere, they showed the room where it's like all the letters are connected to these wires and things. But yeah, I can't remember about the train. I don't think we were able to go on it either. So I think it might just be Florida. It's the one that you can get on the train and have that experience. So it's kind of fun to see what Universal Studios does.
Yep, it's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
the differences between
And
them.
I will say too, is when we were in London last year, Sophia is like, we got to go to King's Cross Station, the real one.
Oh yeah.
Right.
We have platform 9 3/4. And if you go to King's Cross Station in London, there's a platform 9 3/4. There's a little Harry Potter shop, and there's a cart that they just sawed in half and glued up against the wall, so it looks like it's
really?
Yeah, you can sit there, you can grab it, take a picture. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we actually went to King's Cross, which
And
is
it's
funny.
when I
That's cool.
went, there wasn't a long line. There was just one worker there and you would take your photo. But now it's a whole setup where you weren't able to like take a picture with it
Yeah.
because the line was ginormous and people were dressed up. And anyways, this has become a Harry Potter episode. Over
Yeah,
here.
seriously.
Well, that's part of
I don't know
Universal.
anywhere
So
from Universal.
and they did a really good job with that section.
Yeah,
So
they did. They really, really did.
Yeah.
One other
Okay.
thing that we can kind of transition to, and this doesn't have to be super long segment, but just the food at the park.
Yes.
okay.
I
That'd
would
be good.
I would give it like, I mean, we ate quite a few meals there, I would say. We ate
Yeah.
probably like 3 times in 2 days, 3 or 4 times. And I'd probably give it like a 5 out of 10.
Oh, I was gonna give it a 4.
4.
Yeah, that is
So-
the one sad thing. It's not like Disney, where Disney it's expensive, but every bite
You
is
have
just
a pretty good, you get a
scrumptious.
pretty good meal at Disney.
Yeah, but it's like
Yeah,
Disney
depending on where you
price.
go. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like Disney price,
True.
but not Disney taste, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. So very
It just
Underwhelmed.
kind of was
Yep.
tasted like microwavable meals, kind of, like
Mhm.
something you just pull out of a microwave. We had burgers, we had like
Ramen.
ramen, yeah. And so
They
I
had
mean,
a
we were
Starbucks.
so grateful. And shout out to Steve and Julie, but they like just treated us to everything. They're like, if we're buying it for our kids, we're buying it for you. And so we were so grateful. But we were like, oh, like the food is not very tasty.
Yeah. Yeah, because my family's wanting, after our trip, they were like wanting to go. And that's what we told them. We said, it might be best to go out and get some food or to bring your own food. And then,
Yeah.
Or just
You
put
kinda
your
have to
expectations where they're going to be. 'Cause,
yeah,
you know,
that's
it's
true. too.
amusement.
expect your hamburgers, chicken nuggets. There were for some places in Disney World, you have more options.
Yeah.
There's a lot more food there.
All
but
right.
It's still a lot of the park food is park food.
I just sent you a video of the train station thing that Kathleen was talking about, where you walk through the wall.
Is that when we walked
Oh
through?
my
Yeah.
gosh.
So I just sent that to you.
I have to watch that.
Okay.
She's
Yeah,
like, "Where's it at? Where's it at?"
I know. I'm like,
But I mean, we always pack so much. We have snacks. I'm so prepared when we go to the parks that,
Yeah.
we plan on a meal. We're probably going to
Mhm.
eat once when we're in there, and then
Right.
we go to a nice restaurant later.
Yeah.
We'll kind of plot that we're going to do a walk up somewhere, and we try to find the better
So,
of the walk ups.
so you gave it a 4, Jacob, and Sophia, would you give it a 5?
I think
I
it's
said
Food
awesome.
They
wise?
gave it 5. I gave it a
gave it a
4.
4.
Maybe I
Okay,
should
that
say
was
a
a win.
5. They did have a gluten-free bun for a burger, so I do appreciate that. So maybe I'll give it a 5.
And we had we snacked a little bit. We got popcorn, and if you bought like this $10 container, then you got like $2 or $3 refills. I mean,
Yeah, and
we
I
got
think
popcorn one of the days and snacked on that too. But yeah, we had a backpack just full of snacks. I mean, and there was 8 of us.
Yeah.
Know?
Right.
So I was just carrying the backpack with all the snacks in it, and
yeah, string cheese, salami, orange cheese.
yeah, just all sorts of stuff.
No, we did try,
You
but
got it. Yeah, you got to, or you're snacking everywhere and spending a fortune.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
what water rides did they have over there?
It was the Jurassic Park one was when you could get that was the one you could get wet, right? When you go
Yeah.
down.
That was like Splash Mountain,
Yeah.
That was the old
was
version. Yeah.
Jurassic World.
one of
Yeah.
my favorites, probably top 3.
Yeah, we rode that one a lot.
And then it was the if you're in the splash zone for the live action, what was the show called again?
Yeah, so it was called Water World, which is based on a movie,
Right.
but Kevin Costner wasn't there, unfortunately. But we're there.
He's on the Yellowstone right
So,
now.
yeah, I mean, let's talk about that. So we didn't really know what to expect with the live action or like the stunt show, I think is what they
Yeah.
called it, right? We didn't really know what to expect, but it's been there for a while. Like Universal California has had Waterworld there for quite a while. And, just tiny bit of context on the movie, like the world is covered in water.
Right.
And floats on these objects, right? And there's nobody can find any land. So you come in
they
and it's
drive
this
these.
big circular, not quite circular, but it takes up most, it's a little bit bigger than a semicircle,
Mhm.
and it's all of this sheet metal, that's like built like
Right.
houses and towers and things.
The set
And,
is pretty rustic, like
Yeah.
in water,
Yeah.
metal rust.
And so in this stands though, you have the first few rows have this green paint on them, right?
Right.
And if you sit in that row, that's like if you sit here,
You're asking
you
for
are
it.
comfortable essentially being thrown into the water and being drenched head to toe. Like they will soak the crap out of
And they
you.
make an act out of it too, because they're like, "Oh, you're sitting here, like we'll grab a whole bucket, and pour it over you." So you have to really.
So you're
plan.
getting wet. One where if you're sitting there and you happen to like get any drops of water on you, they're gonna make sure
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
you get drenched.
you can imagine exactly the type, the people, they're super funny, they have those big guns where you
Soakers,
the
yeah.
water, shoot it out. So, as he's talking, if you sit in the first row, you will be soaked like this guy. Like starts, not even looking at this kid that's sitting there
and just like
and just
letting it-
I mean, and it's like painful to watch
Yeah,
because
just like,
it's not hot, it's like 60 degrees and it's cloudy, and you're watching these people get soaked, and you're like, they are never going to get dry today.
yeah,
They are not going to dry out, and it is 10 morning,
right.
So that was really
So
they were
sit
really
with
funny.
caution, like yeah,
Yeah, so he's
Be
just
careful.
Don't sit in the green zone.
yeah. You don't want to.
and they have these big buckets that they dump, in the trough, and they'll just splash it on you and whatever. And there was this guy that was sitting in front of us, and he said, "Get him," to his friend.
Right.
And the guy just is like talking or something with the crowd, and then he just yells, "Get him!" And he just looks at him, and he just takes the bucket.
Wrong thing to say.
Yeah, he takes the bucket, but like dumps it or fills it in the trough.
Yeah.
Looks down, puts the bucket down, grabs the trough. Ooh, walks over to the guy, and everyone just starts yelling,
They're
and he's
like,
like, "No way!" And he just, I mean, this poor guy, like he was in jeans and stuff. I was like,
now.
this man will never get dry.
Yeah,
So
Yeah, the people
It's the start
dryers.
of the show. Yeah,
that's just the start of the show. That's just like kind of being funny, messing around with people before the show starts and letting them know kind of what to expect.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, the show was incredible. They have people flying around on jet skis. I mean, they're coming
Yeah,
in
they're-
blazing hot, going off jumps, and they splashing everybody coming around corners and stuff like that.
and then they're doing it like fire around, and then they're going high up.
There's
and it's
explosions
falling as they
happening.
die. It was incredible.
Yeah, like bad people come in and infiltrate the base, and shooting, and guys,
Right.
up a 40-foot tower just getting shot and just falling like dead weight. Just
That was probably my favorite part.
We're
It
just
was
like,
so good.
the crowd. It's so funny. I mean, everyone's just like, oh,
But the best was
you gotta build it up. Build it up here.
what?
You gotta build it up.
Oh, you
Yeah.
Wait,
You can't just spit it out though. It's so
Just say
amazing.
it.
I know, but talk about there's a guy and he's coming through.
Oh my gosh.
Because if you just say, oh, that was
We don't want
because
to give
it's just such a big buildup. It's this incredible thing that makes your jaw just drop.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. If you just say, oh yeah, and a blah blah blah. It's just like,
Well,
oh.
I don't think the whole speech, though.
Oh, okay.
Just saying. Well, now I feel bad.
No.
Okay, I'll just leave and excuse myself.
No. No, you say it.
Good job. Good job,
It's
Jacob.
just so crazy. Like, you have to really, build it out. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, say it.
Okay, so build it out.
Well, on that
There's
note,
a bad guy.
there's a plane that flies out.
Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
That's what
So
it is.
Way to
There's a
build it
plane-
up, Sophia.
into the thing. Yeah.
With fire.
You drew too much attention to it. It's hard to build it up now.
It's a full-size plane though that crashes into the set in
Okay.
fireball. It's like
Yeah,
it's
it's insane.
like the size of like a Cessna, like it's an actual plane, and it just gets launched off of this ramp from behind the set that you can't see, and you just see it vroom, come over, and you're just like, there's this CGI, there's no freaking way I just saw an
Yeah.
actual plane, and it's just like boom, and just bang into the water and crashes into the thing, and it explodes, and you feel the heat from the fire and
It's a
stuff.
moment where you actually get nervous because you're like, wait, was that supposed to happen, or did a plane really just go through? Like, it was just
Right.
so
So
shocking.
it's not real, huh?
Yeah.
Very
It's-
realistic.
So that part was crazy, but did we go twice?
We
or
went
3
twice,
times?
and the second time the plane didn't go through. So,
So bad.
what?
We were all like, here it comes, and then the plane just didn't launch.
So maybe I didn't give it away because it depends.
Yeah,
you
it could
know?
be a surprise.
You might get it, you might
A
not.
different show.
Yeah.
but it was pretty crazy. Like it happened the second time. We were also disappointed.
Yeah, we were really bummed.
So-
And
But yeah, that's so worth it. The live stunt show. I mean,
yeah, you have to do that
Okay.
one.
people are falling off things and explosions and going off jumps and going on zip lines and all sorts of cool
And a
stuff.
lot of these
So,
actors have done like they were either stunt doubles on certain
Yeah.
movies or do a lot of like action fighting. So they're like
Okay.
really, they had their headshots and you could read their bios, and they alternate the cast, I think, every show. But that was really cool, especially like being an actor. You're like, wow, these are legit stunt. It was
Mhm.
really cool. They know their craft very well.
Cool.
Speaking of like
Nice.
actors and stuff, we would highly recommend the Universal Studio Tour.
studio tour, yeah.
Studio Tour. That was really fun
And
too.
that's like that's originally what Universal Studios was all about. I mean,
Right.
because this is a real working movie or sound staged whatever studio. Like they still record TV shows and movies. There's like 40 sound stages or something that
Oh,
are
yeah.
like still in use.
and like levels of in the buildings, there's like levels of different sets and things movie directors can use.
So originally, like in the 60s, that's all Universal Studios was you get on this cart and it just takes you for a tour around
Right.
where they're filming all these movies.
Yeah.
And so that's like an hour long. You get on this, big old trolley thing that's super
Tram.
long.
Mhm.
Yeah. And they just drive you around and they
With somebody who
narrate the whole
narrates,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah. And kind of telling you tour guide, kind of explaining.
To your right is where Back to the Future the set was, but it burned down. Not
Yeah.
there anymore.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, to your right, this is where they film Psycho. This is Jaws. This is this. So
Awesome.
And they also
Yeah.
taught their like certain areas. That's where they're filming Wicked. So Wicked is
Cool.
being filmed into a
Okay.
movie right now, and I was like, no way. So people like
That's
Ariana
cool.
Grande or whatever. I was like, oh my
So-
gosh, they're on that set right now.
That's cool. Was Jaws still there?
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you go through and it's like, oh, here's a nice peaceful. They joke around with you. Here's a nice peaceful lake that we have, and then Jaws like comes up through the water and right up next to you. And
Did they do the
Yeah.
music?
I think they did the
I think they
music.
did the music too. They took us to like New York, the subway station where it like floods.
The
Just
movie
insane.
the
Okay.
movie Earthquake. The movie
Oh, was that
Earthquake.
the
Do they have
movie?
do they have Catastrophe Canyon there still?
I
Oh,
don't
There used to
know.
be a flash flood
Well, yeah,
area.
yeah, that's what it is. It's
was.
there's a flash flood. You're going through this like subway station.
Okay, so they changed it a little bit.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
it's like all of a sudden, you hear thunder or whatever, and then just this big old flood comes down the stairs and floods the things and fire and explosions and
Yeah.
so it was pretty cool. There's some sound stages where you go inside and they close the doors behind you and in front of you, and then it puts you on a track, and then it was like King Kong or something. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
There was like it took you in the sides were big screens, and and King Kong was fighting,
yes, yes.
outside of
Okay.
you. He throws the T-Rex this way, and then you see it pop on the screen over there.
You're on a bus in Disney World on that. You get on a bus.
They have a simulated ride
and
that's
the
called
same
Kong.
thing,
there.
Kong, and you
Okay.
fight
Uh,
So
T-Rex
is
all
this
over
on the
you.
tram ride? Is this
Yeah,
on
this is
the
part of the studio tour.
Okay. All right. So that's
Yeah.
different.
Like I said, that studio tour is like an hour long, so it's
Okay.
like you learn a lot about the actual studio, but then you get to see kind of some cool, little spectacle type things too.
Well, there's a big difference between the two. That's an actual
Studio.
working studio. I don't think the one in Florida is an actual working Universal
Oh,
studio. I don't
Yeah.
think.
I don't think so.
And
So,
I
they don't have a.
I don't know if I remember this correctly, but weren't we like driving past some parts and they're like, we need to be quiet during this part because
Oh,
they were
yeah.
like filming too.
That's true.
So that was really cool. You're like, oh, I can't say anything because
They're
they're
filming the sleeping section of the movie. We need to be quiet so we don't wake them up.
be quiet.
I think they filmed
Whisper.
the voice there or something like that. They're like, this is where they filmed the voice. It's like,
Oh,
wow,
yeah,
that's
and
kind of cool.
what-
Okay.
Jimmy, I can't remember.
Jimmy
There's one-
Kimmel.
Was Sophia trying to tackle the lead so she could jump in there?
Yeah,
Wait.
actually,
Eddie, you got
kind of
this one.
celebrities over there.
I honestly was like,
the ranks.
maybe I don't do theater. Maybe I do film. It was just so just fun. But yeah, I would highly recommend.
Mark.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
So
Gotta-
that's a must do then when you go there for that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
we
is.
we were reading reviews before. They said that's the studio tour alone is worth the price of entry.
And I would agree with that. I would. Would you?
That sounds
With the-
pretty cool.
Probably without the express.
Well,
pass.
so do you guys remember what it was to get into what the day price was for that? But do you guys remember what it was?
The day price?
Yeah, to go into the park.
I think the normal ticket was like, I want to say like $85 or something like that.
Well, it's not that bad, really.
It kind of depends the peak season and stuff. Maybe it was more than that. I can't actually
I
remember.
wanted to say
probably got
90, but I
maybe 90.
It's like
I don't know.
165,
Sure.
something like that a day.
with the
Okay.
express pass or just
No,
for the regular?
Regular.
Yeah.
And then the express pass is like another 99, 90.
Yeah, it's not
$100.
that it's not any less expensive to go to Universal Studios than it is to go to Disney.
Wow. Our connection's getting really bad on our end. Sorry.
Row.
Oh, there we go. Here, I can
little
even
better.
turn my phone off on put on
Which
airplane
one?
just in case we're using too
So-
much.
Did they have those little drying rooms? They called the people dryers around the wet rides there.
They didn't have that, did they?
see that, but I wish.
That's
I
all
think-
right. They smell like dirty
Smell
diapers
like dirty
anyways.
diapers. You like walk into
And they
them,
don't really
it's like
work.
an air tunnel, and they just air blows on you.
It's
to try
like
to
the
dry you
hand
off.
blowers, like the the
Yeah.
Dyson hand blowers. It's kind of like
Oh,
that,
yeah.
but you're standing in it,
Oh, that sounds lovely.
but they don't really work.
It's supposed to
I-
be nice warm air. Yeah, no.
Except it's just diaper smell blowing on you.
Not diaper smell. Oh.
Yeah. It's
Well,
not-
little kids go in there and they probably
Uh,
who knows, I mean, we tried it one time. We went on
Because we were off.
We got drenched.
Ripsaw Falls or that family one.
the family when it was like
Josh
Like,
lost his
it was
glasses.
like the raft ride, at Bear
Uh-huh.
Mountain or whatever,
mhm.
California Adventure. But
Yeah.
you got totally soaked. I
Soaked.
mean, I've never got soaked so bad on a ride like that than there. That's
Yeah.
when, Josh lost his glasses on that ride.
Big waterfall came over, just
Just
flushed
took
it
him right off his face.
Wow.
But we went out, after we got off that ride, we went and got one of those big old dryers, and hopefully we were hoping it was gonna work. It just stunk.
Yeah, it just
It
stunk.
blew, and we
Dries
could
out.
feel it blowing you, but it's not gonna dry you off if you're soaked. So
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think they had any of those
I don't think
at this
so
park.
either.
So
Yeah.
did you go on any other simulator rides? Any other thing that you
Transformers. They had Transformers ride.
Oh, I forgot about that.
And Too Fast, Too Furious. Those were both kind of the
Okay.
same thing where you're just in a cart type of thing and you're moving forward and there's just screens around you that are doing
Right.
things.
Yeah.
Okay.
VR. Yeah.
Yeah, so I would say most of the rides at Universal were like that. They were more
Yeah.
about like special effects more than like
Right.
an actual roller coaster.
However, the Mummy was
Mhm.
more of a.
Yeah, tell them about
Would
the
you, would you
Mummy.
consider that a roller coaster?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're actually like you're actually like moving, you're going 50 miles an hour and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
I think that was the fastest ride, and it was the most popular amongst the family at
Yeah.
least. They wanted to go. I think they went on it maybe 9 times total.
Probably. I
And I
mean,
think we-
Really?
almost.
Yeah, I
Wonder
think
if
we only
it's-
did 5
I
or
wonder if
6.
it's the same.
I wonder
as
if
the
it's a little
Mummy in
different
Florida,
than,
if it's any different.
I don't know. It might be different.
Could
It's a
be.
roller coaster.
Yeah, it's roller coaster. It's VR and roller coaster. It's kind
Yeah,
of
it was both. It was both of them, I think.
Yeah, no, I mean the Revenge of the Mummy in Universal California is like a full on. It's just a roller coaster. I want to say it's kind of like you get the feeling of like Indiana Jones, except
was
you're
just
not
about to say
like going
that.
like this. It's just you're in a cart and it goes smooth, and you're kind of coming through. You see the guy getting eaten by the bugs, the
Right.
beetles,
Uh-huh.
and
Okay.
all that stuff. And then
And you see 2 mummies. I think they're mummies, right? They drop.
yeah, mummies are dropping. There's a
And
bunch of
then-
gold everywhere.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah, and
mummies
then-
dropping everywhere. There's gold flying all over the place.
It's
Crazy.
Scarabs.
But it's kind of just going through and you're seeing all the cool stuff, and then you get to a part where it kind of slows down, and then this like mummy guy, it's a big screen, and he's like, "Your souls are mine forever," or something.
Yeah. And then it
Okay.
shoots off straight, and you just feel your whole body just jerk back. You're
And you
going
just feel your whole body go, "Bleh."
Yes.
It's like the Incredicoaster where it's just like
Yes,
you go
that's
from
a great
0 to
comparison.
Okay.
60 in like 2 seconds, and so
Yeah.
we just love that.
And we
That
were
was so
not
much fun.
expecting it. So the very first time we were like, oh my gosh, it was
Did
so
you guys go on it 9 times?
I think we did 6.
I went on it one more time than you did. You stayed out.
So
with-
maybe you
with
did
Darren that
7.
one
Yeah, I
time.
needed a break. I was
I mean, when that day that we just had the unlimited passes, because that guy just was printing them out. I mean,
Right.
we went on it like 4 times in a row, just boom, 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 boom. I mean,
and
yeah,
the kids wanted to go on it again, but we decided to do, I think, Jurassic Park.
yeah.
But yeah,
Well,
that
'cause
was
it go-
that was the number 1 favorite from the
You
kids.
get to the end, and then there's just a wall, and you're like, oh my gosh, and you stop really hard, and then you start, and then you do it all backwards.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that
Oh,
part.
really? Okay.
Yeah.
That might
Just
be
as
a little
fast
different.
backwards.
Yeah, the tracks switch slightly, obviously, because there's people coming in behind you. You know,
Right.
you keep crashing. But yeah, you do the second half backwards, so that's really fun.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the other rides.
Yeah, I mean that was pretty much all the rides, I think. And then
No
yeah,
outside
like we
roller
said,
coasters.
Jurassic World was really cool. Yeah, it's very
That
similar
one was
to
really fun.
yeah, very similar to Splash Mountain. You're just on a boat kind of going through the water, and the current is what is taking you. And then you get caught on some tracks once in a while, and you tick 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 up, and there's a few small drops.
But
and
what's
then
fun
you're
is
gonna-
you're
yeah.
going through different phases of the dinosaur. So you're learning about this kind of dinosaur and this one. And
Uh-huh.
then when you
Oh,
T-Rex,
that's right.
it's like alert, alert, and it's like this TV screen. And
You're
one
going
of the
through like a
tour, like
it's like you're because the newer movies is like, or I mean all the movies, it's like you're at Jurassic Park. It's a park, and so
Right.
you know,
You get
see,
you them.
yeah, and so you're going, and then there's like a dinosaur that'll come out of the water and squirt you, and it's just like
And it's like
this
eating
is the-
plants.
yeah, it's like this is the blah blah blah. They live up to 25, whatever.
Yeah.
And then yeah, like when you get to the T-Rex exhibit,
It has blood, like blood scratches. You see the like, scratches from the T-Rex. And
It's
it's
like
like
she's
alert,
human.
alert, the T-Rex is out. And so you're like, oh no.
these people come up on screens, the actors from the movie, and they're like, do not aggravate these animals. They will snap at any opportunity. And you're just
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, and so then as you're going up, I think one dinosaur drops down and it's like chewing the wires or something.
Oh yeah.
And then
Okay,
as you
that's
continue
true.
to go up, then do you see the T-Rex? I'm trying to remember.
There's
what you
a
see.
small drop, and then
Yes.
you're going, and then remember that one that was like
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah, that's a
And then
good one. Spits acid. Yeah.
you see
That's the
these
one
two.
that's the one that got Newman in
Yeah.
the Jurassic Park movie.
Oh yeah, that's right.
yeah.
That's exactly.
Yeah. And
Newman.
then you drop, and that is
Yep.
so exhilarating. It's so fun.
I'm trying to remember.
Which one you get?
It's a farther drop. I think it's a longer drop than Splash Mountain, but it's slightly
Not
less
so straight down.
steep. Yeah,
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
less steep,
So
but
that's different. That
it's
sounds like a different because they have a Jurassic Park ride in Florida too, but that sounds different than the one
A
we.
little bit. Yeah.
Well,
there's
it
still a
sounds
drop.
more. To
Yeah.
be honest with you, it sounds a little funner to me.
Yeah, there's still a drop.
It sounds better
Yeah.
than the one in
It was
Florida.
really-
It's a pretty wide boat that,
Yeah,
that
it's
you're
just-
on for the tour.
It's. I
same.
thought it
It
was
actually-
kind of weak,
it's
but this one
it's
sounds
four
good.
Yeah.
people wide. It's
Yeah.
4 people wide. Yeah, it's a big. It's like 10 rows or something, and then
Okay.
4 people per row.
Doesn't
so
it
it's a
sound like
pretty-
there's more to it than the one in? It sounds like there's more to it. The way you guys are explaining
Actually
it.
read that one maybe twice in all the time we've been there. It was down. It got remodeled. It got
One of these
redone.
times we'll have to go to the California one.
We will.
Yeah. And I'd love to hear your comparisons since you've been to both.
It's-
It's
But-
kind of fun to do that. We compare the different places. That
There's
we go.
definitely
It's
some
kinda fun.
differences. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
Awesome.
definitely.
One kind of logistical thing that's interesting about Universal. I don't know how it is in Florida, but there's 2 lots. There's an upper and a lower lot.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
The
I
actually
heard
built
that.
on a hill. So you have to really plan out where you want to be, because to get from one lot to the other, it's like a 15-minute journey, because you
Uh-huh.
ride these escalators. You have these massive escalators
They're
that
so long.
to go down one of them takes like 3 minutes
Mhm.
straight.
Oh,
just
really?
going.
And you have like 3 of them or 2?
3 of them. Yeah.
Are
you
these
go-
separate separate parks, kind of, but same, but kind of different areas? They split
like-
them up.
It's all the same park, but then you have one up above and then one below. I mean, I guess the tour might be around all of it, but wouldn't you say they're kind of divided into upper and lower?
Yeah, it's almost like
Okay.
and it's not 2 separate parks like Disneyland and California Adventure.
Right,
It's all
yeah.
Universal, but it's just the upper and the lower lot.
And you don't need like a
Okay.
pass to go up or a pass to go down. You literally just travel up or down.
But you really have to be conscientious about planning
Strategize it
things
all.
out, because if you're like, oh, I'm gonna go down and ride one ride, it's 30-minute round trip to go up and down those escalators. They're
Mhm.
really, really long.
Yeah.
And there's stairs option too. And we went up the stairs once
So
or
they're not
twice.
very high speed. Is that what you're saying?
Well, you go through a bunch of those when you get into the park, going into Universal Studios. Out for the
Well, the
parking lot,
moving
Yeah.
sidewalks,
there's
basically.
just like in an airport of moving sidewalks. but
That's
they're
what they
going
are,
in, and
but-
you go through a bunch of those before you get
So-
into Universal.
Well, that's
Alright,
interesting because I heard there was an upper lower kind of thing, but that's interesting to know about how long it takes to
Yeah.
do that.
So they split
so-
in. Universal has 3 worlds in Florida. So you've got your,
And
you
they're
got your
separate.
2,
It's separate
and then you
tickets,
have a
right?
water park too. So, but to
Oh.
get to all of the Harry Potter, you have to go to both worlds. You got to take the train. If you want to ride the train to go to the opposite side, you got to have a ticket to do 2
Yeah,
parks.
it's a different ticket.
There's
Oh, really?
Yeah,
There's 2 different. they're
Worlds
just-
of Adventure and then something else. There's 2 different parks. So we always have to buy a 2-park ticket to do it.
But it's worth it. You can still do it all
Totally
pretty
worth
much
it.
in a day if you want.
And we just work our way all the way
So-
around.
Yeah. I will
we
say
get
the
through most
app
of
was
it.
very helpful too. To help with like the planning for the different rides and knowing, okay, this is a short wait and also this ride is there. So using the app was very helpful. Oh, I think, are you trying to get into the? Do
Sorry,
they
I'm
need
just
to-
trying to
do they
join
need
my
to end
it's such bad connection. It's just so hard to hear you guys. We're just trying to join on my phone. now.
Okay. All right. So okay. Well, is there anything else that strikes you that you guys can remember from there? Or
I
sounds
mean,
like you had a great time. I mean, I haven't been there, and God, last time I went there was probably
Recording in progress.
you
Okay, we're
know,
gonna in there. There we go.
probably God,
I've never
70s.
been there, so-
the late 70s maybe. Last time I went to Universal California. Jaws
Yeah.
was like the big thing, and Catastrophe or whatever, Catastrophe Canyon or
Yeah.
whatever.
probably like
I-
E.T.
Oh, then
Yeah.
you'll really like, yeah, if you go now, I think you'll really like it.
So it's probably changed a lot since I've been there. So
Yeah.
We felt like a lot of the VR rides, the movie would change, but the track was the same. It felt like the track was almost imitating itself, and just the movie around you would change in several of them. And I was like, I don't know about this. It's just a ton of those kind of rides. After a few of them, I'm like, I'm good.
Right.
I've done it. Let's go hit the roller coaster.
Yeah, our thing was more of the roller. They have a few more roller coasters in the Florida one than
They have some
there,
monsters.
but they have more room too. So
They have
in
something that goes
California.
straight up and straight down called the Rocket.
yeah, that's
Oh,
crazy.
It's scary.
Yeah, it's like this, and you go straight up,
Straight up, a turn.
straight
Right
down.
down.
oh
And
my
then
goodness.
there's a loop, and instead of going under the loop, you go up, and it twists and send you on top of the loop.
I would be so scared. But I guess
But
I
you
would
know the weird,
do it once.
the different thing about it is you don't get that G-force that
They
you get,
twist as you do it.
because they twist you and you're up on top of the loop instead of, so you eliminate that whole G-force feel that you get when you go on the
Oh,
loop.
that's nice. That's probably
So
better.
that's kind of nice, because that kind of gives you a funny feeling sometimes too. So,
They do that well with that one, Rocket, and actually really the Jurassic one too.
oh, that one's just insane.
It is insane. But you don't get sick. If you're
That's 'cause
moving, it's twisting and moving you,
Because it got you
24/7. That's
going
pretty cool.
all over the place. You can't
You
think
get
about
off and
getting
you go,
sick.
do it again, do it again.
Uh,
Do it till I puke.
Florida has more
Yeah.
rides per theme, and then I would say LA, like Hollywood, or not Hollywood, LA version has like one ride per big thing.
Per
I guess
theme.
Harry Potter, but it seems like it's much more minimal in comparison.
Right.
Yeah.
But they do have some
Space.
different, like they have the
Yeah.
tour thing, which sounds really fun to take.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Sounds like a definite thing you got to do when you go there.
Definitely.
So, well, I mean, thanks for sharing that with you guys, because I was curious how it was. It's been such a long time since I've been down there and to Universal Studios, so it was nice to hear. And Super Nintendo
Mario
World,
World.
whatever the heck it's called. Mario
Super
World.
Nintendo
So
World.
but it sounds like that they did a pretty good job on that,
Yeah.
It'd be fun to go see that. So
We haven't seen the movie yet. Kurt saw it. He said it was really
yeah,
good.
Kurt said the movie was decent.
Yeah,
So-
I really liked it.
Yeah, we enjoyed it. We took all the kids actually when we were babysitting them one time.
The
One weekend.
Peaches song is so good.
There's
Sung by Bowser or Jack Black.
Yeah,
Jack
I
Black.
saw the video that he shot for that.
yeah.
We all had
What a
it stuck in our
fruit.
head.
That's so Jack Black, man. He was such
Oh,
Jack
yeah.
Black.
Perfect for him.
Oh, I know. It was just funny. It was just totally just only Jack Black could do that. So
Yeah.
Really though.
No, but it's like highly recommend. You have to go to Universal Hollywood. It's
Mhm.
like it's the original. It's probably similar feeling to like Disneyland versus Disney World. Disney World's a lot bigger and a lot more to do maybe, but
Mhm.
Disneyland is just kind of more, like you said, that's more quaint, and it's like the original one. So
right.
and for us and for you guys at least on the West Coast, it's like it's more accessible too.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So yeah, I mean it was awesome. I'm so glad we went, and I would go back. I'd probably go back. I think like I said earlier, I think 2 days was really nice.
Yeah, I think I still think Disney is my favorite, like Disneyland.
Yeah.
I've never been to Disney World. But I think like 1 or 2 days it would be fun to go back. Especially for Harry
Awesome.
Potter.
We
Yeah.
enjoy Universal. We enjoy both. I mean, I really
Yeah.
love Disney. I am definitely a Disney
Same.
fan, but
Same.
I do enjoy the roller coasters, the big roller coasters over there,
Mm-hmm.
and Harry Potter Land. You can't help it.
Yeah. All right. I think that's a wrap her up.
It is. Quickly, we have 1 minute left. Tell me what you're doing right now, Missy. What part are you playing?
Oh, she's in a show.
You're in a
I'm
show.
playing
We're gonna drag everybody
Esmeralda.
in. Esmeralda.
Esmeralda at in the Hunchback of Notre Dame at Tuacahn in St. George. It's kind of a big deal. And then I'm going to be in the ensemble for Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Cool.
But I just told
Nice.
everybody I'm playing an Oompa Loompa because it's more fun.
Very cool. And where's your theater?
It's in St. George, Utah. And it's really cool. It's very big and it's right in front of the Red Rock. So while it's an outdoor amphitheater
It's
and
really built just in a
it's
canyon.
built in the canyon, and they do a lot of spectacle. So they like can flood the stage, they add fire.
So you're doing Esmeralda, down the St. George. So if you guys are in the St. George area, and when's your show start?
We start rehearsals start in
July
a month
15th.
and then we open July 15th. I also get a 20% off discount code from Monday through Friday. I think it's like Friends 10 or something. But you can reach out to me if you want on Instagram or to this your guys' account, and I can send a code if anybody is in the area and wants to see a show.
So yeah, Tuacahn, they always have 3 shows running simultaneously, and they just alternate different nights. So it's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and then it's Tarzan, and then Hunchback of Notre Dame. So if you're in St. George, it's awesome because you can just be there for a weekend and see a few of the shows, And they call it Broadway in the desert, or something, right? I mean, this is really, really high quality. I mean,
so
most people are.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say really quick. Tuacahn has a contract with Disney, like actual Disney, and they have to produce 2 out of their 3 shows, I believe, or majority of their season with Disney. So every year it's very family friendly, very centered on Disney. It almost feels like a ride, kind of how when you guys saw Hill Center Theater.
Really good.
It's really like they take pride in being signed or being connected with Disney. So they really try to create the Disney experience in the desert, which is fun.
That's very cool.
Super, super high quality. I was just gonna say it's outdoor, and St. George, I mean, in the summertime, it's
pretty nice out there in the summertime.
Is it?
Well, it's not cold. I mean,
it's not deserty.
Oh, it's deserty.
We lost you, Jacob.
I don't know if he's up there or not, but anyway, Sophia's in those 2 shows.
She's freaking amazing, so you should go see her.
She's very talented, and if you get a chance,
see if we can get them back.
Be in that area, see if they pop back up here. Then go see it, because she was just in the Little Mermaid. We went and saw it in Salt Lake.
I literally cried because she was so amazing.
It was awesome.
It was pretty awesome. I really didn't expect it to be that amazing. And nothing against her. I just expected more of a small theater performance, and it was a high quality Disney performance. It really was way more than I ever thought.
So yeah, let me back her. They're just popping up on the screen again. Sorry about that. We were just talking to Sophia. We're just plugging you, and we were just talking about how you were in the Little Mermaid.
Oh yes, I was.
How great theater that was, and what a great job you did there.
Thank you so much for coming again.
So you're going to be pretty busy. So you'll be doing both those shows at the same time, it sounds like. So you'll be busy, which is good.
So if we
until October.
So if we manage to sneak away one weekend, could we catch you in more than one show?
Yes.
Yeah, if you coordinate it right, then you could catch, like, if you're there, they're closed on Sundays. So if you do like a Friday, Saturday, I'm sure we could coordinate it to where there's like a
Charlie
Friday on one of those on Friday and the other one on Saturday. And then if you guys end up coming, I mean, reach out to me too and try to coordinate it, because I'd love to be here the same time you guys are.
Yeah, that would be so fun.
I'll be on the other side of the country.
And then if you like hiking, maybe we can go to Zion or one of the national parks around.
It's just an incredible place, yeah. And Dad, I mean, your brother's there. Your brother Tony lives there.
I know. I got my uncles and brother.
Where's his wife right now?
She's Mount Everest.
Mount Everest.
No, he isn't.
Tony. Marion's.
I just thought Marion was.
Yeah, Marion. Tony's not. Marion's over.
Crazy.
That's
in the Mount Everest right now.
Kathmandu. Yeah, I saw that.
Wow, that's exciting.
She's hiking base camp or something.
That was a couple of years ago. She's like, "Who wants to go with me?"
She's going to find the
Yeti. So that's pretty amazing that she's doing that. So
yeah, that's incredible. That's like a bucket list thing.
She's an adventure girl.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't think that meeting her, but I guess she's always been kind of outdoorsy, I guess. So I mean, we knew her when we were growing up. She was part of the Tony's
Right.
cat group of kids. So that was kind of cool when they got married. They,
Right.
knew
They knew
when
each
they were
other.
younger, so it's pretty
Aw.
cool.
That's very
Anyways, yeah,
cool.
so she's doing that, so that's pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
But what I was gonna say too, it's awesome that you can catch flights from Medford to Vegas on Allegiant that are pretty affordable usually.
Oh yeah,
Um,
you would have
And
to
then
make
there's just a shuttle that takes you right to St. George.
Oh,
That's pretty inexpensive too. So I flew round trip, from Vegas to Medford for $90, and then the shuttle was like 40 to get me to St. George. So that's the most affordable option, but you do have to, get on the shuttle. Flying right into St. George is more expensive because
Yeah.
oh
obviously,
yeah.
you have to
Very.
go stop somewhere and lay
Right.
over that.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you guys came, that'd be awesome. I'm still trying to nail down the dates that I'm going to be here too, because I actually leave on Thursday and then
Sad.
get to New York on Sunday, and then I'm thinking of I have an orthodontist appointment, and sorry, this is like not even podcast related at this point, but I have an orthodontist appointment.
Family
the guy's
connection.
gonna be dressed up like Mickey Mouse when he's doing his own.
in mid-July. So I was trying to coordinate so I could like come to visit her in mid-July and then grab that cheap flight to Medford from Vegas and do my orthodontist appointment. So try to hit two birds with one stone. So anyway,
Yeah.
trying to nail down dates still, but
Well, I don't know. Just let us know what your dates are. I don't know. Well, I don't know what's gonna happen, but maybe we can coordinate something.
Yeah.
It'd be
Probably
cool to
really
come
fun.
down and see both those shows you're in.
September, October get a little bit crazy, especially October.
Well, we got Aaliyah
She's
gets in the
every
band
weekend
and
she's
all that.
competing, so we have
Yeah.
to travel all over the place for
Oh,
that.
okay.
Them
So like
band-
July or August might be better.
which I'll probably
Might
your
be
family's
before
gonna be in
band.
August.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
Sophia's family will probably visit in August,
yeah.
and I'll try to come for that too. So maybe July. I'll look at some flights and just see if I can find any good deals.
Right. And then we have this place that we're staying at.
Yeah,
when the
so we
family
have
came.
this place right here. I'll flip the camera, but they're okay with us like staying here. I mean, it's five bedrooms and two of the
I remember you were
bedrooms have-
telling me about that place. That looks pretty nice, man.
Yeah, I mean it's brand spanking new.
But the best part is it's connected to like a lagoon for the people who live here,
Mhm.
and it has like a pool, jacuzzi, and then an actual like.
It's a lagoon that they
Lagoon
built,
area.
and they put a bunch of white sand around
Are
it
you
too.
gonna stay there, Sophia, when Jacob's going?
No, I'm staying right next to the suites next to the theater. It's like a 5-minute
Okay.
walk.
They have an apartment complex that they just built at the theater.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Because it's not in St. George, it's in a little town called Ivans. And so from here to the theater it takes about a half an
It's like
hour.
a 30-minute drive. Yeah.
Okay.
So
But
and
when
she
family
shares a
comes,
car.
we were like, it would be fun to have family stay here if we just have to
Yeah,
reserve it.
The owner said just let us know the dates that they're gonna be here, and then if it's available you can 100% stay here. We'd love it. Because this is
That'd be
just their
awesome.
vacation home, So
Oh,
but
that'd
I
be
mean, it
cool. Have
sleeps-
somewhere to go.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean there's one here, upstairs there's 4 bedrooms and 2 of them sleep. It sleeps like probably 7 or 8,
Yeah.
It's a big house,
Mhm.
and like Sophia said, you go down. It's a community that they're
Right.
it's a development that they're still building. But yeah, it's just attached to this cool little lagoon. You have a wristband, you go in, and it kind of feels like a resort.
Yeah,
honestly.
it's really a great setup, and we're so grateful for it.
Yeah. And nobody'd have a car, so we'd have to rent a car, huh? If we came in
Yeah,
that
you
way.
have to rent a car. Yep.
I
I won't have a car
know.
when I visit either. And Sophia has a rental that she shares with 4 other people. So
I know.
the car situation is one that we've
It'll
thought
be a
about too.
little bit trickier.
Got to get a Turo or something, and
Yeah, a Turo would be great.
I mean, you'd have at least, Sophia with her rental, and she could reserve it and like pick you guys up if you needed, or take you
Yeah.
somewhere, run to the grocery store, whatever. But yeah, I'm trying to think. Tony maybe could do
Tony's
some
there,
running.
but I don't know what his
or even like Kenzie.
life is like.
Yeah.
Right.
So
We'd have to look into it, but I mean, we might be able to find a cheap rental, cheapish rental. So
Yeah.
anyway, but yeah, I mean, if you
All right.
guys come, there's a place
Okay.
to stay, and the sooner we nail it down, the better, because then we can reserve this place, save you on lodging.
Mhm. But thank
Anywho,
you
yeah.
so much for letting us be a part of your podcast. I think this is our second
no,
one. Right?
I'm glad
Yeah,
you
you
guys.
guys are-
Sophia, I'm
my
glad
second
you're
one.
able to be with us this episode.
I know.
You weren't on
I
the
think I
last
did
one because
the
you were doing your
Disneyland.
play.
Yep.
Christmas in
So-
Disneyland.
Oh, you did that one.
Grandma
I did that one.
Yeah, you were
Yeah.
busy
yeah.
doing your show, so
Oh, yes, that makes sense.
you couldn't make it on that one. So it's nice to have you on with us.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it's fun to
Stuff.
rehash all this stuff, all the memories, and
It is.
get to have fun with it again. So
See, our podcast is kind of a genealogical
Yeah.
thing. We talk and we tell
Yeah.
stories and things you guys can listen to long after we're deceased and still enjoy time.
When I'm dead.
Mom and Dad.
appreciate it, Dad. Thanks, man. Appreciate you.
You put it like that.
Love you too.
But you'll look at this and you'll see I'm alive still. Just kidding. Just kidding.
It is pretty cool though. Just for that reason.
Yeah, if you think about that, you're like, wow, that's really cool.
So
Well, it's like that tape I played for when I was on my mission.
that's exactly what
When
I
I was,
thought. It was
you know,
weird. And we hearing
I was
your
20
voice.
20 years old or 19 years old,
Wait, was
Probably-
it?
walking down the streets of Denmark, and you're listening to me talk.
Like 1984, and he had like a tape. And it
Did
was
you
like,
sound the same?
He had a slightly
Yeah,
higher
pretty
voice. He's
much.
like, hey man, how's it going? Yeah, I'm here in Denmark.
I sounded
Like,
pretty much
here
the
with
same, but
some people.
obviously, it's younger. I'm younger, so.
Yeah.
You were
But
more
still, you're
naive
like
than
going back
Dad.
in time, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a time capsule. It's really weird to
That
hear
is
that.
crazy.
So yeah, this is gonna be fun to listen back to. But
Yeah, I'm sorry to Kurt for all the editing he has to do since our connection broke down.
Yeah,
like four
it could
It's
be
all
cutting that.
good.
Well, he'll have to earn his
Thanks,
$10. Whatever.
times.
He'll
Better
be
we
kind of
don't know
busy.
how to do it. So it's all good.
That's all good. All right, guys. Well, have a good evening, and thanks for
Thank
joining
you.
us. Yeah, we love you guys.
too.
Okay.
Love you.
Love you.
All right. Thanks for joining us on this episode. Everybody say bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a good week.